Howdy folks, thanks for joining me on my first ever mukbang. I'm gonna do a pineapple mukbang and just talk about some thoughts I've had this morning. So yesterday my friend and neighbor messaged me and she asked me if she could interview me for a class she's in. And she said it's really easy, it's just one question. And the simple question she just asked, what does it mean to live a good life? So I sent her my response, and it was kind of a, a PC response, cultivate a few good friendships rather than a lot of shallow relationships. Spending time with family, spending time in nature, inspiring others to be more compassionate. This morning when I woke up, the first thing I thought was, am I living a good life? And immediately the answer came that actually no, I'm not. Because in order to live a good life, one has to be free. And we don't live in a free society. People think they do. People have been conditioned to believe that they live in a free society, but it is so far from the truth. Now, when the government can make us into slaves by taxing our work, our income earning, that's essentially, we're working as slaves because they're taking that money. They're expecting us to work and they're taking that money and they're just using it for whatever they want to use it for. Whether it's good or whether it's evil. We have no choice. Just because they're supposedly democratically elected, the system is like completely corrupt, and the government has never really been able to fix any problems. It's just like the world just keeps getting worse and worse. And really the only way to a free society is anarchy. And it's not scary like people think. It's just like, having no rulers, living a life of, of voluntarism, doing what you want but not harming anyone. I mean, everybody really wants to be free, and people think that they're free just because that's how they've been programmed to believe. Sorry, it's like kind of hard to eat and talk at the same time. So people seem to think that society can't function without government, and that government does all these good things. But in reality, we've lived for, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of years. Humans have lived without government. I guess it was only, since the time of the kings and such that there's been government. Just because the people have supposedly elected these leaders, and that's why they're able to do all the things they do, that we're like essentially giving them permission. I mean, how are we able to give these politicians rights if we don't possess these rights ourselves? Like how, I can't just steal from my neighbor to give to somebody else or to give to some good cause. I'm not allowed to do that. If I did that, I could get jailed. And our government, they basically do just that. But how can we give them permission to do it if we can't do it ourselves? Now, I believe that everyone deserves to be free, including the animals. And okay, here I have this cage right here, and I have goats that I rescued from a dairy farm. And yes, this is not ideal. They would like to be free. I let them run around in my yard and they're happy as can be, but even that's not free. But the only reason I have them is because people believe that they have the right to enslave, steal from, and kill animals. You know, these are boy goats that came from a dairy farm, and they were just going to send them off to be slaughtered because they're not profitable. I only have goats because we live in a sick society. Really, what I would love to be able to do would be to go and find a piece of land and live off the grid, not bother anybody, and not have anybody bother me. But because of all these zoning and regulations, you know, I'm not allowed to do that in most places. They can tell you that you can't camp out on your own land, and you can only build this type of house that's this size, and you have to do it this way. And there's places where you aren't even allowed to collect rainwater, like in Colorado, I believe. And this seems like a basic human right, just to be able to survive, to be able to, you know, collect water. I mean, that's essential to life. And there's governments that saying you can't do that. I mean, is that not slavery? Those birds are free. And then, you know, the government says you need to have all these licenses to do this or that or anything, and that's, you know, people think that's a good thing. Oh, they have a license to do this. And all that really means is that they condone being a slave when, you know, they may not have had to do anything other than pay money. So it's just like this government scheme to make money. Oh, we'll make it so that people have to have licenses for this or that. I love you, zebra. Oh, you can't see zebra. Here's my zebra. Zebra. Come here, zebra. Zebra. Oh. Yes, I'll let you run around today. Yes, I will. Do you want some pineapple? I bet you. That's good. Yummy, yummy pineapple. There you go. There's Taco. He likes pineapple too. Oh. Okay, I'll give it to Taco. Here you go, Taco. I'm not doing a very good mukbang. I gotta eat to do a mukbang, right? I know it's probably hard for people to understand where I'm coming from when they've been brought up their whole life to think that, you know, the government is there for good. But I think a lot of people know that there's a lot of bad going on, but they still think they need to ask permission to do the simplest things. Taco. Oh. I mean, how is it ethical to steal somebody's labor to go kill other people? I I mean, I can't participate in that. That's why I try not to earn money that's documented, at least. And so, you know, it limits my ability to afford things. But the idea of just voluntarily giving my money to a corrupt system, I mean, that is not a good life. What do you think is a good life? What do you think it means to be free? All right, thanks for watching, and as always, peace, love, and empathy, and anarchy. Bye.